Re-recorded from Hoxxes IV, it's Malignant Bear, featuring me, JD Grossmitz. Hello everyone, and welcome to this quick look at Rock Galactic Survivor. That's right, we're busting out an old thumbnail for Rock Galactic, but it's a new game entirely. They're going the route of the auto shooter, bullet heaven, action roguelike, similar to Vampire Survivors. They made a Survivor game. It does a lot of interesting things, and some things I'm not super crazy about, but I think in general it's a very good game, so I'll give my verdict right away to make it even quicker. I think this is a solid entry into the genre, and I think they have a lot of room to grow in it as well, but it definitely has some teething issues to solve. So, as usual, when we do a quick look at one of these games, we're joining a run in progress, perhaps not as far along as normally I would show, like the latter half of a stage. Instead, we're just on the second part of a very introductory level. So, and you'll see why when we get into it. So this is what it looks like. Paused, of course. We're in the first of 3 levels in the game. There's only 3 right now. Crystalline Caverns, of course. That's where you always start off in Rock Galactic. Every level has different hazard levels. So we are at hazard level 2 right now, out of 4 or 5. So we're not very far in, and we're playing the gunner. So all 4 classes are represented here. Each class has different weapons that only they can use, and then there's some shared ones as well. And each class also has 3 different specialists that they can go as. So in this case, the gunner has these stats by default. So a little bit more HP and armor than some of the other ones. And we're the weapon specialists, so for every 100 projectiles fired, we shoot out 8 high-powered projectiles in all directions. And it gives access to projectile weapons. So whenever this run ends, I'll show the other classes as well. We have some resources gathered. So, again, it's Rock Galactic, so you're going to be doing some mining. You're a dwarf. You have to get gold and nitra. Those are the things that give you upgrades in between stages. So it's not just one big level, you're in between different stages. And then you have your other resources as well, so you might recognize Magnite, standard from Rock Galactic. All of the different resource types are here, well, not all of them, but the majority. And you need to collect these to get the permanent upgrades, which again we'll show off. I have 2 weapons right now, so the Leadstorm-powered minigun. It's level 9, you can see it's been upgraded, and these are the stats that it has. Every weapon has different types, so this is heavy, kinetic, spray, projectile. You can see the upgrades that I've given it. At levels, 6, 12, and 18, you can pick very specific masteries for them. Some of them are good, some of them are not. And then here's my other gun, a burst fire gun that shoots rapidly in 4 directions, not to be confused with the other burst fire gun that also shoots rapidly in 4 directions. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. And then we have a little accessory here, an upgrade that continues this entire run here, that we got from a supply pod, which we'll see in a little bit. So collecting red sugar increases your max HP by 2. So all of our stats, we have HP, life regen. I'm not entirely sure how life regen works. It doesn't seem to be particularly good. I can't tell like if it's over time or what. It doesn't really matter. Armor, also not particularly good. I'm not sure what the calculation is for how much this reduces damage. Move speed, absolutely essential in this, and we'll talk about that. Standard damage, reload speed, crit chance, crit damage, pickup radius, super useful. XP gain, luck increases your chance to get better upgrades as you level up. And then mining speed. Again, you're a dwarf, you have to mine. So, let's see what it looks like. So here we are being chased by a bunch of bugs.
Bring it, Beckers!
You might notice that I had to stop and turn to attack them. The gunner has some unique issues. This is an auto shooter, action roguelike, but some of the weapons require positioning, which is kind of a problem, and it's positioning just based off where your character is looking. I think the game kind of wants to be a twin stick, and it's not. And I'm not entirely sure why. Oh, here's the other one that shoots rapid bursts in 4 directions. We'll go with that.
Guns for the price of one.
So here we have, we can see at the top here, as I mine away, you automatically mine, just as you move. Pick up some red sugar. We can see we have more kites up in the top right there. You can see every level has a little sub-objective. They're completely random. Levels themselves are completely randomized. They are finite, though, in their size. But up in the top middle, you can see the bar is ticking up. That's what determines the stage length. So as it goes up, first you have to kill an elite, then you get a drop pod, then another elite, and then another boss at the very end. Alright, so we'll pick our upgrade here. You can see, you can re-roll, of course, using your gold, or just pick something. Just pick reload speed. One big problem that I can say that this game has, outside of the it sorta wants to be a twin stick, is these explodey bugs. The game feels balanced around the fact that you pretty much have to use them to break up swarms and kill things at higher difficulties and higher levels and things. Drop pod kills stuff when it comes down. I don't think it damages you, at least it hasn't yet.
Hell yes.
All the voice lines and things are in from regular Deep Rock Galactic, as you might expect. I'll upgrade that just so we can see. So we get our overclock. We're at level 6 now, so we can choose between these. I don't know what salvage does. I've never done it before. So I can reload slightly slower or double the clip, or shoot faster and reload faster. We're gonna just salvage do. So we just ignore it and it automatically gives us an epic. So you can get a supply pod, you get an artifact. These are completely random. Some are better than others. One other big thing that I think this game needs is the ability to disregard certain upgrades, like lock them out, like you can do in other Survivors games, where you're like, oh hey, I don't ever want to see, you know, garlic and vampire survivors. I'm just gonna kick that out of the loot pool. You desperately need to be able to do that. Because ones like this, you have a small chance to find gold when mining any rock. They are not kidding about that being small. It is like less than 1%.
Sure, why not?
Because we leveled up at the same time. So obviously you probably always want to get epic or legendary. You know, the higher rating, the better. There's some interesting upgrades that literally just increase the level of your guns. They're called cosmetic upgrades. They don't actually change how they look. But they just increase the level, which can be nice if you're just trying to rush to get those cornerstone upgrades, the overclocks rather. Here we can see we have a stage boss. Chase after us a little bit. Stages are kind of timed as you go through and the boss spawns and everything. You notice the bar disappeared at the top. It will keep getting faster and stronger the longer this takes. So you kind of have to go a little quick. There's not a ton of enemy variety in this. There's little bugs, slightly larger bugs, bigger bugs, explodey bugs, spitty bugs. Pretty much every boss is this. There's a couple flying ones. There's like 2 flying ones, like regular ones, and then a boss flying one. And then 2 types of worms. They're both stationary. One just attacks the area around it melee.
Threat level increasing.
So you can see it's getting stronger now. One's just melee and one shoots stuff at you. The worms really suck because they spawn everywhere in the level and their shooting is infinite range. Obviously loot bugs.
I die a little inside every time.
You can see we get some more mineral types here. Keep running, keep running.
The upgrade I was looking for. The threat level just went up.
So I have a decent amount of mining speed, and it's pretty essential.
See you in hell. Quota satisfied.
At the end of every stage, you have to get to the drop pod. You have 30 seconds to do it. If you are not on it when it leaves, you die and it fails the run. I have failed runs because I have not been able to get to it. It's landed in a bad spot, or a swarm has spawned in between me and it. So you desperately need move speed.
Really sweet. Time Time's ticking, miner.
Actually, just to demonstrate, we will let it pick up on its own. Actually, no, wait, no. I don't want to show the shop.
Stage 2
I was gonna say we can
Taking
fail
you
later
to your
on.
target.
So we'll see between stages here. You get this. So this is how you spend your gold in Nitra in runs. And here we get a paint job. We can upgrade our level, or upgrade our gun, make it a little prettier. Increases weapon level by 2, but it doesn't give any actual bonuses on the way to the next thing.
Now it's my favorite color.
Let's see. Fire rate and reload speed, why not?
Kick in it.
Let's upgrade our damage. All projectiles, you can see, has little arrows there at the bottom, denoting that all of those will be increased by that.
That's the one.
That's nice. That's what you want. And might as well get that one too.
This.
Alright, stage 3.
And quotas to meet. You have your objectives.
Plenty of loot bugs. They pretty much only drop gold and nitra. I think every now and then I've seen them drop some of the rare resources, but it's not very common. You can see it's giving me some other side objectives for achievements there in the top right. See if we can get to level 25 and show off another
I
gun.
just became a better dwarf.
One other interesting thing that this game does that I'm not crazy about, and it seems like other people are not on the forums as well, is you do not get those overclock keystone upgrades for weapons by default. You have to get a weapon to level 12 once without any of those keystone upgrades to unlock the ability to get them. Which, you know, obviously it's a survivor's game, you're going to be playing this a ton. Very sort of repetitive gameplay. That still sucks though. It's it basically means that you're gonna have a bunch of just throwaway runs, especially for guns that are not very good, to try to make them better. Come on. So you can see I've upgraded all these. I've done that, you know, get them to 12 once.
Smart rifle, smart dwarf.
Right. You can see just blowing up those explodey bugs
Let's get them in.
took care of most of that swarm. Flying bugs don't really come after you, which is kind of odd. Except the boss ones, they do. Let's see.
It's a little extra special.
A swarm is heading your way. Load up.
Sometimes drop pods land in the middle of minerals and rocks, so you have to mine around them to be able to use them. Only large bugs can destroy rocks. And explosions, of course. It's the same types of enemies on all three maps. Except the worm things are more likely to appear on the other two, as are the spitting bugs.
I'll take this one.
I hardly ever see them on crystalline caverns.
Prepare to fight for your life. A big swarm is approaching.
Basically just kite these a little bit. Some better positioning, maybe? Ooh.
Your history.
You have maybe a split second of invincibility frames. It's not much. Let's see, let's upgrade
I'll
this.
take this one.
So you can change damage types of weapons, which is kind of neat. This might be better though.
This bugs. Yeah. Give me some
Scanner shows clear. Supply pod inbound.
heads up.
Alright, let's see. We don't have a lot of gold or nitra.
You don't see
Look at
these
that.
every day.
See, as we've gotten into another level, the bugs are getting slightly bigger, doing a bit more damage. It's pretty easy to get cornered in this game, even with the ability to mine, because the bugs are oftentimes faster than you, and not a lot of weapons pierce.
I'm a better dwarf than yesterday.
You can see over here on the left, there's 5 stages in each map, in each run. So we're in the 3rd one now. The final one, you have just a big boss. There's no side objectives on that one. You just have to kill a big boss. It's the same big boss every single time, no matter what level you're on. And all it is just a giant bug that leaps at you every now and then.
Yes, please.
You might have noticed we have to collect more kite. We haven't seen any more kite, is another big problem. Because it's randomized, I have had runs where I've had a side objective that literally has not spawned on the map. There's some there, but a little bit more up there. Okay.
Let's show them some
Objective
fire.
completed, Miner. Get to the drop pod before it heads back to orbit.
So I'm gonna purposely lose here,
Epic upgrade. That's a no-brainer.
just because I don't think I'd be able to get to and complete the final stage. So, and again, just to keep this a little shorter as well. And when I mean in the drop pod, I mean in it. Like, you can't be on the... You have to be all the way in.
And get onto that drop pod. It's about to leave.
So fail in the saddest way possible.
We will raise a mug to your memory in the bar, Miner. Rock and stone.
Wait for me.
Another big problem this game has, there is no dedicated rock and stone button.
Tough choice.
It's cool, I leveled up one last time. Drop on left without you, mission failed. So you get a nice little recap of what you did. You have both player level and each individual class level. So you can see all my stats for this dive, all the weapons I used, their damage, their DPS, the accessories I had, damage reports. If I had completed any milestones, you would have seen them there. So I got Bismore and Magnite. We get back to the main menu. I did get the supporter DLC just because I really like Deep Rock Galactic. And I just want to point out the version that this is. This is the version that this launched in at the time of recording this. So I don't think it's gotten any upgrades since, or updates rather, or any major ones at least. It is in early access, of course. So we can see the upgrades. So, you know, damage, reload. The different upgrades take the different specific minerals. Some are a lot more common than others. You can buy them and sell them, which is kind of neat, so you can get more credits that way. Milestones, these are all the achievements to get you more unlocks. Some of them are, again, certainly easier than others. So look at all the weapon ones. You can see you have to get, you know, certain levels on certain classes to unlock weapons. And then once you have said weapons, you have to get them to level 12 to get to get the overclocks on them. So you can see I have quite a few to go still. Artifacts, these are the things you have to do to get the artifacts on the drop pods. Have the majority of these, some of these are going to be a little difficult to get to. And then specific classes. So each class starts with one speciality, gets another one at level 9, and then again at 18. So we go in here. So again, the 3 maps: Crystalline Caverns, Magma Core, Hollow Bow. Magma Core has lava and rocks that hurt you when you mine them. Hollow Bow has red vines that you can't go through and brittle ones that you can, but then they grow back. This map sucks. It took me forever to beat the first hazard on it. I was specifically waiting to record this until I could say that I at least beat all of these once.
Just breathtaking, isn't it?
Different levels have different hazards, of course, so 5 for each, and then each hazard has different biome goals that give you these little things. I'm not sure what they are, but you need them to unlock the higher hazard levels.
Lava, exploding maggots, earthquakes. Another day on the job.
So you can see this one, you have to complete it, collect Nitra, and then upgrade the LMG platform. And these have to be done within this level and that hazard level. So I can't just collect 150 Nitra anywhere else, it has to be here.
Hollow bow again.
Again, same thing here. I would have to upgrade the flamethrower here.
What about hazard 2?
So you can see, Scout, you have a chance to dodge. A little bit more crit damage, I believe, yeah. Gunner, we were just playing. Driller, you have the drill arms, of course. Engineer, a little bit more XP. So Scout, you can move faster, you spawn with the assault rifle. Or you can go recon, so you have access to lighter weapons and the chance to dodge. So you might have noticed there was an achievement, or milestone, they're called, specifically to get that. And then I'm not sure what the third one is. Gunner, you could do weapon specialist like we just saw. Juggernaut, you're a little bit tankier. You start with a revolver. Driller, you get the drill arms and you get to mine real fast. It keeps stacking up. You cannot melee attack enemies, unfortunately. That's a big negative. And you start with, you know, just a gun that shoots behind you, so you're just going to be drilling the whole time. Or chemical and fire weapons. Flamethrower. This class is really strong. And then engineer. You get construct weapons. You start with the LMG platform. Tinker. Your weapons start leveled up, so you miss some stuff there, but you gain more XP and you start with a shotgun. This one's not very good at all. I will say that is one other thing this game has, is there's definitely some balance issues. Some classes and specialties are just objectively better than others, and some weapons are just objectively better as well. Not that that's not the case in every Survivors game, but I think it's a little more apparent here. Like the, you know, having to point yourself to shoot. I don't think the heavy machine gun is quite strong enough to make up for that. Engineer has the weird thing where it's like, the gun platform, you have to stand still to deploy the turrets. Same thing with like flamethrower turrets. But then some of their other things require you to move, but only certain distances. These little like Tesla coils that they drop. It's a little weird, and you'd be thinking like, oh JD, but that sounds like they could work together. So you're dropping the coils when you have to move, and then the guns when you don't. It ends up just being kind of awkward. But again, those are just balance issues. I think they can fix those things. The other big problem, I think, is that the game is just maybe a little too difficult. Again, you're supposed to grind and eventually be able to overcome and complete these hazards, you know, once you get more upgrades and milestones and things. I think Hazard 1 could maybe stand to be tuned down just a smidge. The last boss in particular has a ridiculous amount of health, to the point where you pretty much have to either save the drop pod to drop on it, and that'll deal a massive amount of damage, or just keep trying to kite it into the exploding bugs. But in general, I think this is a very solid game. Again, I wouldn't be putting on a video on it if I didn't think that it was good. I think it's worth looking into if you're a fan of Bullet Heaven's action roguelikes. Again, it has some growing to do, but I think that's kind of the fun of the genre, is seeing different devs, different studios come out with their own attempts at this, what works and what doesn't. Again, lot to love here. Always like Deep Rock Galactic. I'm hoping they add some more to this, fix some of the balance issues, you know, do some number tuning. But the core of this, no pun intended, is very solid, and I think definitely worth checking out if you're into this. So we'll end our quick look there at Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. This is a recommendation in early access right now. But again, if you maybe want to see it in a little more complete version, wait a little bit until it gets some more updates. Hopefully we'll have some soon. Hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, have a good one.